it. Hello,
Good
Marion,
afternoon.
Ronaldo, George, Sam. Oh, you, Gina, Marion, Laura. It's so good to see everybody. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. I will try to say hello at some point. We are going to continue to let people come in um, as they trickle in. Hi, Linda. Hello,
Hi.
everybody. It's so good to see you. And we are um it's just lovely to see everybody. It's hello, newcomers to NWSOFA. My name is Cecilia English, and I'd like to say how great it is to meet all of y'all today. It's just lovely to see everybody. I'm happy to be among the first to welcome you to the Northwest Suburb Organizing for Action Indivisible chapter, known affectionately as NWSOFA or NWSOFA, some people call it. It's a group dedicated to saving our democracy from groups who are on a conscious path to destroy it. Without sounding too philosophical, I, for one, believe it's not an exaggeration to say that our goals are as ambitious and righteous as any other in American history. And the more people that, like you, who are willing to engage and get involved, the stronger we get. Now, in a few minutes, I will get into the specifics of the resources available to you. Next slide, please, Beth, of your NWSOFA membership. But before I do, I'd like to ask you to put in the chat where you're joining from. A fun fact about yourself, if you don't mind, and what brings you to this group, because it's always fun to find out how you found NWSOFA, like how you got brought into this network of people. And let me see, I need to grab the chat here. Ooh. Someone's gonna have to read the chat to me because I cannot see.
Right now, we may need to give
Ooh.
you a couple more minutes, Cecilia, because I'm seeing that Gina has put in she's from Warren, Michigan, but that's the only thing I see on my screen.
That is okay. I'm probably just zooming right through this, aren't I? Let's slow down. Let's
So,
slow down.
so Marion Watson is from Chicago, and somebody else actually gave her the link, so that's how she found out about this group. But if everyone else can just go ahead and put your
Oh,
information in the chat.
there we go. Thank you. And Catherine from Grays Lake, known of and have attended several in person and now beginning Zooms. Awesome, Catherine. That's awesome. And LaGrange, Illinois, favorite color is purple. Hey, hey. And my friend Patrice told me, ooh, Patrice, I'm excited. Oh, things are going fast now. Awesome. And gave me the link. Hi, I'm Linda from Lowell. I think that's how you say it. I live in Palatine. Hi, Joanne. I was once a Republican for 14 years. We won't hold that against you, love, I promise. And I'm appalled and terrified by Trumpsters' actions and motives. I understand completely. South Bend, Indiana, my first ongoing response to Trump's election is resist. Yes. And what I mean by we won't hold that against you, we understand Republicans are totally different than MAGA, right? Totally different than what's happening in our government right now. And definitely, okay, let's see. Awesome. So these are great. Those are so wonderful. I can't wait to see how y'all's involvement will bring new energies, ideas, and innovative approaches to our important work and all of what we will be doing in the future. Now, a fun fact about NWSOFA. Just a minute, I'm a little parched. Even though our name suggests that the group is for residents of the northwest suburbs of Chicago only, that's not the case. Really, our membership extends well beyond that particular geographic area. I, for example, live in central Illinois on the state's eastern border. I live 3.5 hours south of Chicago. And we have others who hail from across the country. And I mean California, New York, Michigan, Florida, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Tennessee, and Texas, to name several. Even though, like you, they may belong to their local political parties, grassroots groups, and even their local indivisible groups. Many of them have gravitated to NWSOFA because they enjoy the wealth of expertise, camaraderie, the range of activism, and the welcoming spirit our chapter is known for. We have members of our group who are lawyers and provide updates on litigation, members who work on Capitol Hill and have insights into the inner workings of the legislative process, and a wealth of other expertise. You'll hear from Bears fans here in Chicago, but also those rooting for other teams all across the country. And just as Bears and Packers fans can peacefully coexist in this group, we all come together to get important work done for our country and the important relationships we forge to reach our common goals. In the next 20 or so minutes, we will give you an overview of our group and the various ways to get involved. Next slide, Beth. Thanks. As we go through our materials tonight, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. Just write the word question followed by your question. All right, y'all. We have some housekeeping. In order to keep our community productive, there are a number of guidelines that participants must follow. Respect the speaker, no personal attacks, protect privacy, keep your language clean. Please introduce yourself. Now, our group values are respect, kindness, empathy, integrity, and we are better together. All right, next slide, please. So let me give you an overview of the many ways you can immediately get involved. One of the great things about this group is that it has both local in-person events as well as national events that take place online on Zoom calls like this one. If you're in the Northwest suburbs area, you can participate in the local events, which include the annual summer picnic, as well as rallies and protests, pizza nights, and there's even a small, brave contingent that ventures into a local current issues group, affectionately known as the MAGA group, for discussion. In addition to local events, NWSOFA offers an active schedule of Zoom meetings, and I do mean active, y'all. Daily or weekly events where much of our work begins and camaraderie grows. Next slide, please. So this snowflake graphic shows the issue teams who support the many, I'm sorry, this is Ruby. She wants her time. Say hi, Ruby. All right. And now you've had your time. Apologies, y'all. She's a ham. Okay. This snowflake graphic shows the issue teams who support the many varied online programs. While we won't have time to do justice to all the great work each team brings, we'll spend the next few minutes spotlighting several of these. And we've posted the link in the chat, which takes you to the current week's scheduled events. And next slide. Thank you, Beth. Here are a couple of examples of past presentations given by the issue teams called out in the blue dot next to each image. Whether making sense of the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics economic reporting, or updating us on the on the status of gun legislation, women's issues, or bringing us up to speed on a new green technology, these sessions are always incredibly informative, with excellent opportunities to pose questions to knowledgeable experts. Next slide, please, Beth. So NWSOFA also hosts the 2025 version of radio call-in shows, which is, I must say, completely awesome. Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central, there are morning meetings called Coffee and Conversation. This call is a conversation between members, not a presentation. Participants share information on what they're doing, what they're thinking of doing as activists, or what they've heard about, discussion on the latest news, or questions that they're hearing from friends and family, like how to respond to MAGA talking points from acquaintances who may only get their information from Fox and Trump. The official call is from 9 to 10 a.m. But each morning there is a pre-call unhosted from about 8:30 a.m. to 9. And after and after at about 10 a.m., the call is Debbie Rudy hosts an after hours call that allows for more in-depth discussion. Then we have the Unhappy Happy Hour on Friday nights at 5 p.m. Central. You can bring a drink or not, depending on however you want to celebrate. It's a great place for both casual talk and meaningful discussion about the week's events and plans you or your local Indivisible groups are doing. And not just Indivisible, y'all. We have 5051, Swing Left. We have all kinds of groups come and tell us what they're up to and what they're planning.
Thank you.
That's another great thing about this group. Then there are Zoom meetings that follow up or expand on what we've discussed. Next slide, please. Thank you, Beth. Like Sorting Soup, which is our weekly group processing space where we sort through what's happening in the news. We identify key issues and we brainstorm concrete actions that our members can take back to their own communities. That happens once a week on Thursdays. And Vision Forward is our long-range messaging project where we developed messaging strategies for conveying our pro-democracy vision. The project included identifying our shared pro-democracy values, imagining the America we want to build, rooted in freedom, fairness, opportunity, and the sustainability that we just don't seem to have right now. our shared values, and then translated into clear policy priorities and messaging. And then we have sharing our stories, which is a group whose mission is to amplify the stories of those impacted by the harmful policies of the Trump regime, using a storytelling framework to humanize complex issues that resonate on an emotional level, because real stories from real people are what move hearts and minds. This group is looking for volunteers to collect stories, create video and written content, amplify the stories, and members who may have their personal stories to share. And lastly, we have hands-on and how-to sessions, which are practical technology workshops. We cover things like how to use Zoom, AI, joining Discord, Linktree, using Substack, and podcasting. These sessions are relaxed and supportive. No tech background needed. And if you haven't heard of some of these technology tools and programs, join us to learn more. The workshops are designed to help save you time and energy in your activism role. Next slide, please. And speaking of Discord, we have an amazing Discord. We would love for you to join us. Join NWSOFA on Discord, because Discord is so much better when it's active and vibrant. You can download the app either from discord.com or from the App Store and install it on your device. If you're new to Discord, you'll need to register an account. Or if you're already signed up, make sure you're signed in. You can access our NWSOFA server via the invite link, which was dropped in the chat. Outside Zoom, oh, I think I just made all that up. We also have a Discord server, which is like a message board that allows us to keep in touch and share information in between Zoom calls. It's invite only. So if you'd like to join our Discord group, please follow the link that they just dropped in the chat to fill out the Google form, and make sure that you put Discord sign up in the comments field. That's important, because we are using the same form to do two different things, I believe. So if you want to be a part of Discord, put Discord sign up in the comments field. You'll also find a number of resources you can access at your own leisure. The NWSOFA Substack site with upcoming activities, messages from Bill Davis, and links for more info. You can find similar opportunities on NWSOFA's social media platforms: Blue Sky, Discord, Facebook, and Instagram. The quickest way to access everything is through the QR code on our Linktree, which you can also find in the chat. That, my friends, is a one-stop shop. Our Linktree gets you everything. So, next slide. Couple of quick tools for activists. See. The action items page. Ooh, those are great. Which is updated frequently. And if you're not the Truth Sandwich model, if you're not a part of Truth Brigade, if you've never been, it is so useful, y'all. It requires that you practice it to be able to use it well, but that's why we have our Fridays, so that we can practice the sandwich model. And things like the 5 calls app is very useful, and Goods Unite Us, another great app. And of course, mobilize.us, that is something that we use, and you will probably be using quite a bit of. All right. So next. Next. Here we go. Now we know joining a group can be overwhelming. So there's a lot going on and lots of new faces. And that's why we started Coffee Mates, a buddy system that pairs newcomers with an established member who can help you find your footing, answer any questions. Oh dear, sorry. And introduce you to programs. I'm sorry, I apologize. My cat just, I apologize. And introduce you to programs or issue teams that best fit your interests. If you'd like to participate, just fill out the sign up form and write Coffee Mates in the comments field. We'll match you with someone friendly who can help you get oriented and make the most of being part of NWSOFA. We are here to help, and we are so glad that y'all are here. And before we move on, we would like y'all to meet the man who is responsible for NWSOFA. Now, one of the most vibrant and successful chapters in Indivisible, Bill Davis. Bill, would you like to walk people through the best ways for people to support NWSOFA?
Doesn't look like he is. Oh, there he is, but he's on mute.
Oh, please unmute. Oh, do I need to unmute you? Where'd you go?
There we go. Thank you. So thank you for doing this, team. This is a great kind of a review. I forget about how much we do here. Interesting choice of words, but we have an amazing group here. There are 30 leads that kind of produce all of these issue teams and conversations and communications, and the local members in about a 6 township area in the land beyond O'Hare is almost 10,000. And then the national/international Zoom folks that join us is around 23, 24,000, getting very close to 24,000 now. So we are looking for folks that have some capabilities, or better than that, some time to help us kind of keep our arms around the issue teams, add new issue teams, address the news of the day, to be part of these coffee mates, the welcoming teams, be part of the folks that keep our FaceTime, our Facebook, both our private and public, updated, keep our websites updated, keep everything that we're doing on a very current basis. We tend to get behind every once in a while. We recently have added Substack, where we put daily updates on our coffee and conversations and on groups like this. This is actually being recorded on our YouTube channel live. A little while after this, we will put a summary of this call. We'll put the slides included with that as a link, and we'll put the video as included, so that you can share pieces of information that you'd like to your groups, etc. We are all about building capability, and one of the reasons that we're trying to build capabilities is because of the all-important 2026 elections, midterms. And as we saw from last week's Tuesday elections, we have this great capability at our time. So if you have time, if you have a particular talent, if you've done podcasts, if you've done any measure of PR, public relations, etc. We can always use help in these areas. Maybe not immediately, but we'll create it as part of our communication modules, as part of our issue team modules, and the information of the day. So I hope that I covered everything. I couldn't get to my notes. Back to you, Cecilia.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I wasn't monitoring the chat, so I'm not, oh. I just saw.
Cecilia, did you want me to read this one from Marion?
Yeah, go for it.
So she'd like to find out two things: how to share to Northwest Suburbs Organizing for Action folks about AT&T site visits. You might have to explain this Sunday in various Illinois locations to protest AT&T's complicity with ICE, CBP, and DHS, specifically in the Downers Grove location. So that sounds like that's something going on locally that maybe you or even Rebecca can speak to if you know something about that. And then the second question is find out if there's a group at Northwest Suburbs Organizing for Action that's interested in organizing to anchor a site visit to the AT&T store in Northwest Suburbs, maybe Palatine.
Yeah.
So, and then Bill might also have something to add to that, because I think that's kind of your turf there.
That is definitely Bill's turf
Yes.
there.
So Bill, are you aware of anything going on in to protest against the AT&T?
I've just seen what people have been posting on our Facebook pages, and it's a little bit sporadic, but there's a growing momentum to it.
Yeah.
So I believe on the link tree there is a place to click to join our Facebook pages, and on the private Facebook page we allow people to post items. I think an admin has to approve it, and then it shows on a regular basis. And then on our public site, we post things that we know are happening in our local areas.
So Marion, are you aware of some organized efforts, and you're just trying to amplify that and get the word out?
Yeah, those two things. So the first is I'm organizing with my church, the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale. We're organizing a site visit at the Downers Grove location, and then and we could use a few more people there. So it sounds like for that one, I should create a mobilized link and then post it on your Linktree landing page, and
Or
with a little more information about it. Is that kind of the process?
I think, Bill, wouldn't it be on the social media sites that once she joins and is connected to all your various sites like the Facebook and others?
We'd definitely put it on the Facebook site, and then Kathy Carter, who is our co-lead and our social media person, will grab those and put them up on Blue Sky, X, etc. And if you've already put them up there, let us know that when you post it. Put the links, and then we'll just share it to, I think we have like 300 different groups that we share things to.
Marion, always
Well,
make a mobilized
yeah,
link.
so my concern is I don't know if we really we don't want thousands of people there. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little concerned about sharing it that broadly on social media. I would rather share it to a small group of people that would sign up to say, yes, I can go to Downers Grove. And then also there's about 20 different stores in Illinois. Like there's 3 in Champaign that I know people are going to, and I actually DeKalb, Rockford, Chicago, some of the other suburbs like LaGrange is one. So I do have the list of all the different site visits, and they're all happening this Sunday. But I think the other thing, I came to your coffee group this morning, but didn't feel like I had a opportunity to talk because a lot of people were talking. But anyway, but I was wondering, like, who do I talk to see if Northwest SOFA wants to do take over do a site visit at the Palatine location, for example. But I know it's not hardly any time to plan something for this Sunday. So maybe there isn't time.
So who would she contact to talk about that with? Bill.
Great question. And I don't have a good answer. I usually get information that comes into me and I spread it out to one of the leads of the issue teams that it would most closely impact. And right now, our Stand With Women group have been doing a lot of these news cycle responses, both on the ICE side, et cetera. So I would say, if you will send it to me, I will send it to Kathy Niekrith, who is our Stand With Women lead, and see if her team would like to grab hold and move with this.
Okay, because you don't have a group dedicated to immigrant rights right
Well,
now?
I was just
Nope.
going to say, Bill, maybe another
we
idea.
do.
Another idea is Jim and his rapid response team that they're doing some of the ICE stuff. That might be a good point of contact too, because they seem to be able to move quickly.
Quickly, yeah. So who is this person?
Jim McGrath. Bill, you're frozen. Do you agree that that's might be a good point of contact?
Yes,
There you go.
if you can hear me, my screen is presently frozen. So
You're better now.
Yeah, do
Okay.
you have some contact information for Jim? Is it McGrath? McGrath?
yes, as soon as I get unfrozen, I will post that in the chat for you.
Okay, that'd be great. Then I
Thank you.
can communicate with him directly and then go ahead and create a mobilized link and put it on your like where do I put it so only SOFA people see it? Would that be the Linktree landing page?
No,
Mm,
it
no,
would.
No, that would be the Facebook private page.
private.
Private Facebook page? Okay.
Yes, and we have only local members, about 640 on that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That sounds fine.
Good.
Okay.
All right. Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
You're
You know,
welcome.
I'm new here too, but I have an idea that I live in Chicago and I've just been coming on the last week. But, you know, if you mentioned it like at coffee or now, you know, I'd be interested in, you know, just knowing the time and a little background. I could get over to an AT&T store. And so I think my experience is that, you know, people like somebody might call me and say, come to Broadview and you could talk for a few minutes, or so maybe a less formal approach, you know, can be effective if you want just a small, you know, it's because I'd like more background on it. You know, I'm running for Congress, getting on the ballot, and it's really interesting learning about this ICE issue and how people are mobilizing and a way to build community and base, organize. I was with, I joined with Bill Davis when he started. I guess it was the second class, maybe 2016 of NWSOFA. So this is interesting how it's grown. But,
Hey, Marion, another suggestion. So I think Jim McGrath is going to be a good connection for you because he has kind of a rapid response infrastructure in place already. But even just posting it on the next Coffee and Conversation in the chat is another thing, because anybody that's local that is coming to Coffee and Conversation as a regular would see it there.
Okay. Okay, I can do that. And then I put my email for Ellen. You can email me, or anybody who wants to get more information, you can email me. But yeah, that's a good idea. So just come to coffee tomorrow and put it out there in the chat. All right.
Hey, so we have another question. This is from Josephine. It says, about the technology meetings, I was wondering if you could say a bit more about how they are structured and give a few examples of topics or presentations that would be considered in scope versus out of scope. I've gone to several meetings and I have even spoken at one. So I know we have a couple people on this call, and Cecilia is one, that are involved in the technology. Do you want to speak to that, Cecilia?
Sure thing. Our hands-on technology meetings are they are set up so that, well, that we teach about what we use to help organizers make their days easier. That was how we started, right? At first it was AI, because people were using AI and we wanted to know more about it. With the good, bad, and ugly, right? We knew it was in our lives, and we needed to know more about it. So we did, and we honestly need to do it again. We need to teach more, and the ethical part about it, right? Because we know their side is not doing that. We need to learn more. Anyway, moving on. And so we've gone through Zoom. We found out that many of us use Zoom, but we don't really know much about it. So we taught a class on, we spent a few weeks on that and went through it. We have talked about Substack and gone through Substack and the many different ways you can use it. And that's how we got NWSOFA on Substack. We actually created their account, and now they have, and we're going to be moving that on and creating a podcast on Substack, which is so fun. I'm so excited, but that's for future. That's future. I need to stay in the present. All right. And then Josephine was so kind to come and speak for us. And we have people come and speak to things that we need more information about, that there's so many things, y'all, that we need to know about, that we need to understand, because we are in the midst of history right now, right? We are in the midst of history being made. Yes, Beth, how can I help you?
Well, I just wanted to give our little group a shout out and just tell people that if they don't want to watch the news, or if they get tired of watching the news, we have such a huge eclectic mix of smart people who bring all this information to us. And that's what I've been doing, is like, oh, Bruce is going to tell us this, and Cecilia is going to tell us this. And then I don't have to look at 47 on the TV or hear his voice.
Yeah.
So it's a nice group. You get lots of knowledge, lots of information. And if you have any ideas to help make our group even better, then we encourage it. But if it's your idea, you get to lead it. That's the rule. So that's all. I just wanted to give us all a shout out. This has just been, we sometimes go at each other like brothers and sisters, but I mean, we're all in for the same purpose, and that's the fight for democracy. And it's, without you guys, I don't know how I would be handling all this stuff that's going on. I certainly couldn't do it alone. So.
Yeah.
And before we go on, I wanted to circle back a little bit to Josephine's question. So when we originally started that technology group, it was because there were some questions about how can we use certain technology tools, whether it's Zoom or AI, to be more efficient and more effective as organizers, right? So that is kind of the focus of the group. Same thing with Linktree. Rebecca did a session the other day on Linktree. How can everybody create a Linktree for their organization that's kind of a one-stop shop for all the links? So Josephine, to your question, if you have a specific idea that you think would be helpful and would kind of meet those goals of making us more effective and efficient activists, then, send Bill a note, just, I think, which is similar to what you did last time when you wanted to do the session on polling. And if it's something that looks like it's a good fit for the technology group or any other group, really, or even a special session, because that's the other thing, is it may not fit into the technology thing, but it may be a standalone session that people might be interested in. And we've had those too. I mean, so even in addition to the issues group, we've had some, like Larry and Boot Money, they did a session on civics, because that was something that was of interest to the group. And so, they developed that. So anyway, so just use that same process, I think, that you used last time. Okay. All right.
Ellen.
Yes. Hey, yeah, I think a good thing would be to start a group, so you think how to run for office, how to get on the ballot, You know, that's what got me started this time. And, this, I was thinking this morning, Chris is, they're like, who was going to be the Democratic candidate in Texas? I'm like, well, you seem like you could be one. Why don't we encourage each other,
Oh, we
mentor each
mentioned
other?
that to her plenty of times. I promised. She's
Right.
not interested.
Yeah.
Although we might continue to mention it.
But yeah, just have a group like that, to me, I know from 10 years ago, I think, it's the group of us kind of wanted to be nominated or wanted somebody to mention it, and nobody ever does. But it's, finally, actually, one man, an 87-year-old man, said, I'm doing it, and I kind of followed him. So I think there is a need for good people on the ballot, even all around the different types of openings. Actually, Bill remembers Janice was on that early team with me 10 years ago. And, she, when I asked her, can you help me get signatures? She's like, well, she said, have you thought of other positions? So it's good to have partners and coffee mates, people to brainstorm and
Yeah.
do that together. So,
Well,
mhm.
I want to real quickly, I caught out of the corner of my eye, Ronaldo, I saw a comment that you put in the chat, something about No Kings being very, very white. And I agree with you, that we have had some, it was pretty white. But I will say that No Kings 2 was a lot, in my opinion, a lot darker than No Kings 1. Just where, especially where I was, we had a lot more of our brown brothers and sisters from like in our area, in KZ, or not in KZ, in Charleston. And they don't usually come out because we don't want them to. We want them to stay safe because people are mean where I live. And I was pleased that they came out. Now, I can't speak for Chicago. I can't speak for anywhere else. But I hear you. I understand what you're saying. We have a majority white group. We have been trying very hard to reach out and diversify. I would like very much to invite many others, please,
Well, and just to add, Cecilia, so some of the members of our group who did express some concern about, there were some safety concerns and valid safety concerns, right, when ICE is showing up. And I know that we had some, folks that are Black in our group here that have said, after seeing what happened during Black Lives Matter and what happened with people who were protesting during those protests, we think we're also considering, just we need to keep you safe. But what I will say that I've seen in San Antonio, of course, we whites here in San Antonio are actually in the minority. So we are seeing a large Hispanic population that's showing up. But what changed things, and it changed it on the very last one, is the movement is growing. And as it grows, we're going to see more diversity. The fact that we have maintained this peaceful presence has made, I had some of my friends who opted out of the first No Kings and other protests that actually were excited to opt back in after they saw that these were going to be peaceful. So I think that theme too is very important. For those of you who have been involved with Indivisible, even with other groups, our leaders, Ezra and Leah, have really emphasized the need for this to be peaceful, joyful movement. And we saw that in the last No Kings. So guess what? Going to No Kings 3, we're likely to see even a broader group that feels safe, about participating, that may have been concerned before. I know I have a friend of mine that's an activist herself, but she said her son was so worried about her going on the very first No Kings because our crazy governor here was sending the National Guard. And they were very concerned about that, the safety. And he said, Mom, please don't go. But she went the next round, right? After it was very obvious that we could keep, that we had lots of controls in place to keep these events peaceful. So hopefully, and then the other thing is we have some folks in our group too that are getting their churches involved. So that's another huge way to bring different groups into the movement. So anyway.
Yes. Miss Sharon, she's such a powerful fighter. All right, Adrian, you're up next. Oh, do I need to ask to unmute? There you go. Can you unmute?
Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So I'm Adrienne from Austin. I'm frequently behind the scenes in chat. And one of the ways that I have found really powerful to help people show up and still remain safe is to just empower them with information. Me, myself, Texas being over 50%, people of color at this point, I think a lot of people are still credibly afraid to show up. And becoming a court watcher, becoming a CASA assistant, giving real aid. There's an organization called Casa Marianela here that helps people who are have recently crossed, and it's regardless of documentation, right? Sanctuary networks, these are all things that exist. And if you think even outside of your immediate area, like where are people crossing? Maybe there's a border crossing that's kind of closer to you. You might focus on areas that help there. And those are ways that, people can still maintain a safe distance and providing direct aid, right? So don't forget about your mutual aid groups or direct aid where no reciprocal aid is expected back, right? Make sure that you're looking at groups that help deliver food, help take kids back and forth to school so that the parents don't have to leave the house. In Chicago, those are going to be different than Texas, but I'll be trying to find a couple of groups. I think you guys would be best to post in the chat as to what groups you know, as well as rapid response with groups like 5051. I'm thinking of a lot of other Democratic leaning organizations in your area. Feel free to go ahead and post those, guys.
Hey, thanks, Adrian. There's another comment in the chat that might be helpful for us to talk about. So this is coming from Catherine, and she said that she's a little hesitant to show some of the info here to a group of seniors that she has coffee with a couple times a week. Unlike other senior places I've seen, they seem indifferent, more fearful and avoidant maybe. So I will say this, we have a lot of diversity in our coffee and conversation group. We have people that are in senior centers. We have people who are homebound. And one of the things that helps people when they're struggling through making sense of what's going on is you can actually, just by getting involved in something, can sometimes help you feel less powerless, right? So one of our members, her name is Lillian. She is unable to go to protest, but she is a powerful activist in that she gets postcards and she is nonstop writing postcards. We have other people that are, they use the 5Call app. And so again, can't necessarily leave their home, but are on 5Calls and calling representatives. So sometimes just it's empowering to people to get involved. But I mean, Catherine, your friends more than I do. But just I offer that as just sometimes I have heard more and more people just say that it helps them to be part of this group and that when they miss it. Now, the other thing I might suggest is if it's too much of an overload in coffee and conversation, maybe try sorting soup, where we just take out a couple of issues and focus on those. But a good amount of time is spent just processing it from an emotional perspective before we even get into like a call for action and things that we can do. So, I would let them kind of experiment with it. Maybe let them drop into Coffee and Conversation, drop into Sorting Soup, and just see how they, what they think.
We have a myriad of options, but that is the reason that we created Sorting Soup, was because there's so much available during the mornings. Although keep in mind, you don't have to stay for the whole thing. We have the kind of pre-call, and then the main hour, and then the after hour. So you can kind of come in and during the whole thing, like, my goodness, we do offer so much in the mornings. The mornings are special. Bill really did build something very, very special. Anyway, so the other questions, was there another question? I
think we got most of them. I'm responding to Catherine's last one, which is show a meeting here as an example. So we actually don't videotape Coffee and Conversation as well as the after the happy unhappy hour, but we do tape Sorting Soup. So if you go to the link tree that is was posted in the chat, there is a link that gets you to our YouTube channel, and then you can just pick and choose. I mean, so there's sessions on women's issues, there's sessions on gun rights, there's sessions on economic issues, but the Sorting Soup ones are always taped. And so that might be a good way of just introducing it without them even making a commitment to being there. They can see what it's all about.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good. And actually this week we in Sorting Soup, we've just started a book club. So now our Sorting Soup is a little different than what is normal. So what you'll find in our previous recordings and forward, two different things, but that's okay.
Well, and that might be a caveat for Catherine. So right now we're reviewing the book Project 2025, which is kind of a scary book. So that if you're concerned about your friends, it might be better to hold tight until we resume the regular Sorting Soup, because I have to say the Project 25 stuff is good. It's good for us to know, but it is scary stuff. So
legit. But we are attempting to balance it with some other books that are not as scary. True. Attempting, and we're gonna try. All right. Do we have any other questions that I'm missing, perhaps, or does anybody have anything else to say? We're having a great conversation here, y'all. Oh, Beth, was that you? Did you have to drop that in there?
I can undrop it.
No, it's fine. That is our, if you're interested, that is what we are for Sorting Soup. That is the book that we are doing. It is Project 2025 Survival Guide by Randy Allen Walker. It is the 119-page book based on the 900-page book. So if you are interested, please do not order the 900-page book. I did not want to do a book club on a 900-page book. So we're doing one on the 119-page book. Anyway, yeah. So it's yes. So options that are available to, oh, nice, Adrian. Nice. See, these great people. Adrian, please. You're up.
And Marianne, Jim McGrath's information is now in the chat. Hopefully you caught that. Okay, very good.
Ooh, it looks like Catherine posted something interesting in the chat. So just to mention, I don't find the 2025 book that we're dealing with in the book club scary. I find it to be very practical, and whenever I'm confronted with an obstacle, or I don't know, something that seems overwhelming, I think a practical guide is super useful. I'm just going to add a different framing to that. So I'm finding the instructional value to be super reassuring. So don't necessarily find it scary. Like, get it in your hands, take a look at it, make that decision for yourself, guys. And that is that book club is under Sorting Soup. So the next several weeks, if you wanted to check out what Sorting Soup is like, and don't forget, you can always join a meeting and leave if you're finding that, this particular week is not for you, or maybe the handling of a topic is not for you. You can always drop in and kind of, and then decide to forego it.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
true.
So I was just wondering how many people on this call have joined Coffee and Conversation this past week? Has anybody?
I have.
I know we have, but
Look
like
at all
the new
those
people-
hands. All
the new
right.
people.
How many of you have joined something other than Coffee and Conversation, but that has to do with NWSOFA? Look at all those hands. All right,
Great.
y'all. So you're not new. Okay. How many of you? All
But
right.
we find out if anybody is just new for the first time. This is the first time you've ever heard of Northwest Suburbs Organizing for Action. Or anybody, just go ahead and raise.
Oh, Linda. Okay, I see one.
Okay. All right. Good.
Well, at least we have one. All
It tells
right.
us the Mobilize link works.
That doesn't.
Or I know some of you said that a friend of a friend or a friend, invited you. So that's good too. So I heard that.
Well, that is good. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you more than you know. And this was how much? Okay, all right, all right. Any other question? Oh, yes, Ellen.
Yes, I wanted, is there a password to get into the Zoom call? Where it's always there, but I try to go in, it's asked for a password. And so it'd be nice if the Zoom was always the same Zoom and that password was there. Am I the only one having that problem, where?
It is the same Zoom, Ellen, but it does require you, the way that Bill has it set up, it does require you to go in and do a registration each time.
Yeah.
So when you go to log on, that's a normal process with this group. Yeah. So the advantage is you're using the same Zoom, but you do have to register before you actually get connected to the call.
Okay. And then is that something because I've relied on like Bill's emails that I finally discovered he's been sending for a long time and I hadn't seen them. But so what is the best place? Is that on LinkedIn or Linktree to find the registration page for the different
Yeah,
events?
when you go to all the upcoming events, you can click, there'll be an invite for every one of the different events and register for it. So with Coffee and Conversation, what I do is I just register for like 10 events at a time. In other words, I just go down the list and then I add that to my calendar. So, and then the link is there.
Mm-hmm.
Then the link will come to me on my email at right
it'll
before
say,
that time.
It'll say, do you want to add this to
register?
your calendar? Yeah. And if you add things to your calendar.
Yeah, that's a skill. Maybe we could have a technical, it sounds silly, but being good with calendars is something I've never really done. It sounds, it's impressive the way y'all are operating with all these, Bill is sending out emails and link trees.
But if you follow your email, I would almost say there's an overabundance of emails that you get, because you get the initial one saying, hey, you've registered, but then right before the meeting, it says your meeting's coming up. And then you get another one that says, oh, by the way, here's your Zoom link for this meeting. So it's almost, if you monitor your email, you almost can't miss the Zoom link. It just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Well, good. Yes, that's great. It's if y'all have mastered that, I think does seem to be like a best practice in terms of a group building, organizing. So, okay, that's good to know. Seems like a dumb question to bring up if it wasn't a beginner's orientation.
And Catherine had one more question, and I think we're pretty much done. But Catherine asked, "Is this the original like organizing for action group that started during the Obama regime?" And the answer to that is yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And then it transitioned later. It was not originally an indivisible group, and then later Bill had it established as an indivisible group, which is why it has the very challenging title of Northwest Suburbs Organizing for Action Indivisible Group. Like it's the longest title of any indivisible group ever. So.
But that's why we get Northwest SOFA. Like that's why we get that great name, is because we have organizing for action, and you have that great story that originates in Obama. Like you have this origin story that takes you back to Obama. And y'all, I mean, if you ever go to Bill's basement, like he has it all in pictures, like it's all there. I mean, trust me, it's a great story. It's a great story. There's lots of pictures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the chicken lives in my basement also.
Right. The 35-foot chicken lives in his basement too.
And we feed it disinformation every day. And then we take it out for a walk in rallies.
There really is a 35-foot chicken. We just blow it up really big. And yeah.
Interesting.
So this was really great. Are we going to have another one of these?
We are. We're going to have another one on Saturday, right?
Saturday too. Yeah. Invite your friends. So
yeah.
Was it Catherine that had the coffee friends that she was concerned about? So maybe that's the session to invite them to, so they get to know us.
Yeah, I will. I have a lot of MAGA family, Catherine. Like I come from Oklahoma, so I can turn that on.
But Catherine, I didn't get the impression that these were necessarily people that were MAGA friends. It was just friends that were concerned. And you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
You can unmute.
Yeah. Here, let me click on this for you. Okay, ask to unmute. You should see a little button pop up. So now you can unmute yourself.
All righty. Okay, it's multi-ethnic. People who are from different parts of the country, of Europe, of a very interesting mix. And I hesitate, I don't go to the coffee clutch as much. I'm the plant lady of the building, and I do a lot of stuff, but I know them all. I've been here for over 10 years. And it's just turned into more, it concerns me, and there's more complex, I've seen nursing homes do like with a lot of walkers here, not great health, that kind of thing as well. But also they're concerned about their lives, their means of, and I just don't, I'm not mad. I think I've seen nursing homes on TV with walkers, and they're coming out to go to the King's March. I mean,
yeah.
And I am in a better shape. I have a pacemaker. I'm grateful. I wasn't as in good a shape as I am now before. But again, it's just there's so much difference of, they don't necessarily get along. So I had wondered if I could just come to one of the coffee clutches and show on the phone, like the soup group might be a good idea. But they're just, it's just a mix. Sometimes personalities just clash, and there's this cliquey kind of a thing. That's what I want to say. It's a kind of a thing. And there are some prejudices. So that bothers me as well. I am so, I have multi-ethnic family, Filipino, Mexican, my kids are Puerto Rican, Mexican, Black, I have 5 grandsons. And so there's that. That's what I meant. They're so
Yeah,
I'll decide what I'm going to do, but I thank you for, I'm glad I got the okay. I could at least try.
Yeah.
Catherine, I support you in making that individual decision. I have a multi-ethnic family, and I grew up between here and Asia. So a lot of the circles I run in are kind of ethnic mixed circles as well. So, testing the waters is important, and that's what this meeting was organized to do. I genuinely am not finding the cliquishness that you're referring to, but please, test the waters in other groups. I think you'll find your level, right?
I mean, I do what I do anyway, and I know at least one person or two. They're very political. They're very interested in, but they do mainstream news. And then, like, for instance, just bringing up, I listen to a lot of independent media. And I love many of the groups. I've heard everything here. Even Cliff Cash. I mean, he's a whole different thing, but he's a very involved comedian, and they would not relate to this at all. So there's 70 people in the building or that live here or about. And I just think, to get people involved, because it is a serious thing. So I thank you. I'll decide if maybe I'll let another person I know try to introduce, because he has more, he's part of the clique.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to go because people are contacting me to hopefully maybe somebody will take me out to eat or something. Thank you.
Hey.
Good deal.
Okay.
So we are at our hour. So thanks everybody for coming. It was a great inaugural session. And it sounds like some of you have folks that you might want to refer Northwest SOFA Organizing for Action to. And so next session this Saturday, 2:00.
Thank you all so much.
Did we drop the Mobilize link in the chat? I think we did. I think we have it in there. Yes.
Yeah. I believe they were all dropped.
Okay. All right.
That was so great. Thanks, y'all. Okay.
Right. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you later. Oh, okay. Can we drop the link again in the chat? There we go. Thank you, Adrian.
So if the host would turn off the video now?
Oh, that would be me. And that would assume I know how to turn off the video. I know how to end the meeting.